Well, how do you do, buckaroos? How the heck are you? Boy, it took me a long time to set this bad boy up. The perils of doing an absolutely no budget show or uh, video drinking session, as it were. Oh, mercy. So it is that time of year again. I got my fireplace background going up now. I'm not trying to fool you. It's my TV. Got the little deal there. It's a birchwood fireplace. Anyway, I got the picture, just the bottle and the glass. Came out really nice, man. Looks like it's in hell. Psycho killer. I was trying to set up, man, I was having a heck of a time getting the angle. I was trying to set it up where you couldn't see the TV, the edge of the TV, but there was no way to get that done. I just finally said, screw it. We're going to go as is, man. Just one of those things. There we go. Uh, Sometimes you just got to roll with it, man. So 9.3% Psycho Killer from Four Hands. See if I can read a little bit from their bottle here. Psycho Killer is a Belgian triple aged in rye whiskey barrels. You're used to, or we are, as craft beer drinkers, we're used to saying, imperial style aged in whiskey barrels, and then, some have started doing brown ales and other things. You don't typically see a Belgian triple. I don't think they're the first to do it, but it's not something you see a lot of anyway. Especially a rye barrel, rye. Rye is very powerful, so I don't know what it might do to this triple until I take a drink. Anyways, delicate notes of caramel, fruit, and spice blend seamlessly, I should say. My bifocals weren't kicking in. Seamlessly with subtle hints of oak, rye, and vanilla. So oak, rye, vanilla, delicate fruits, caramel. I'm sorry, delicate notes of caramel, fruit, and spice. So there you go. There we go. Let me get that back around to the front of the bottle. A nice devil picture there. Very festive for for the holidays. Love having the fireplace background. I mean, you could tell it's my TV. Because I got the you can see my ceiling fan in the screen, but some of them hide it better than others. So this one you can see it because it's got where the flame is. Anyways. I'll play with the angle on the next one, but I dinked around with this one for about 20 minutes. It was time to drink this beer. Wasn't too concerned about letting this one warm up a bit, but still. At some point, you just gotta say go with it, man. So the aromas, focused, huh? The aromas are interesting because it is that of a triple. I mean, it's very fruity on the nose. Certainly some herbal and floral aspects. But I mean, the rye barrel is not subtle in my opinion. They said subtle notes of oak and vanilla. To me, it's a very forefront on the nose. Really, maybe because I am a whiskey drinker, so I'm looking for it. But I certainly feel a lot of rye spice, and oak on the nose. Oh, chug a frickin' boom! Oh wow! Gosh darn, that's beautiful. Golly, that's freaking amazing! Wow! Holy cow, man! Gosh, that's gorgeous. I wasn't sure how that was going to work. Like I said, I mean, imperial stouts are great to age in any kind of whiskey barrels. It's a big bold beer anyway. But when you do something as light and delicate as a triple, you worry that, or I was concerned that the whiskey barrel may swallow it up. And although for me those whiskey notes aren't subtle, it does not swallow the beer up. It really just accents that beautiful triple. Now, if you're not a fan of whiskey barrels, this one probably isn't going to make a believer out of you. But if you love the idea of a good craft beer aged in a whiskey barrel, in this case a rye barrel, yeah, I suggest pick this one up because you are going to feel the whiskey. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It's absolutely freaking gorgeous. I gotta tell you. At 9.3%, it was 8.99 a bottle. So 22 ounces, 8.99. That's not exactly inexpensive. However, again, for many Belgian triples, I've seen go for that by themselves that aren't aged in whiskey barrels. So The fact that I have a quality craft Belgian triple aged in a whiskey barrel, for what the market is, that's not expensive, especially when you consider there are other whiskey aged beers. I'm just going to say macro produced, kind of masquerading as a craft, but they're really not. And that go for a lot more. For a smaller bottle. You're paying for hype and a name, but here I have an actual craft beer aged in a whiskey barrel that I didn't have to stand in line for. How about that, folks? Don't buy into hype, just buy quality. And I'd certainly rather support a craft brewery like Four Hands out of St. Louis than some macro owned company somewhere else. The fruit notes in here, it's funny, you would think that the rye, I was talking about the whiskey, how predominant the whiskey is, but it still doesn't swallow up those fruit notes. It's very interesting. I'm still getting notes of, hold on, let me take a drink and I'll tell you what I was getting. I'm still getting nice, pleasant notes of apricot and pear. You might get some others. Who knows? We all have different palates. Somebody remarked last night as I was having a beer, it was I was getting some peppery notes. You get peppery notes and everything. Well, yeah, kind of depends on the style, but yeah, there's certain things I think we taste a lot of. When I'm a lot of IPAs, I'll certainly feel a lot of tangerine. So if I do several IPAs in a row, oh, tangerine. Many pilsners, fine pilsners, lagers, coles, you may get some peppery notes, and I tend to find those. So I guess it just depends on what your palate is used to. I eat a lot of pepper, both white, black, others. Anyways, I was going to say it's funny, but I'm trying to think of the right way to put it. It is amazing to me how well balanced this beer is. I mean, sometimes beers like this can be disjointed, and what I mean by that is you get this and that, and they don't seem to work together. Um, in this case, the Belgian triple and the whiskey barrel notes really work in conjunction with each other. One doesn't overpower the other. One sort of lifts the other one up, where you think that those rye barrel notes may take over. Now it really is just it's just kind of accenting those beautiful fruit notes, and it works the other way around too, where those fruit notes kind of help you feel those whiskey barrel notes. For me, this beer is put together brilliantly. Wow. So my scale is simple. But it's a buy again or a not buy again. This one I will buy again. Actually, I may try to go back and get it again before the season's over. I've got a couple friends, if I can find a way to finally get a box out. There's a couple of friends that I've owed a box to for a while. I really need to get some stuff out too. But this is one I know both of those guys would like. So good, because I think because it is different, it is interesting. You're again, I love imperial stouts, Asian whiskey barrels. Mother's does their imperial three blind mice, which is a big brown ale. And they do a bourbon barrel version of that. That's just gorgeous. Uh, but here, I love the idea actually, because it just seems so different. I know there are others out there. Don't write me letters or give me nasty comments, but it isn't something you see a lot of. You don't see a whole lot of Belgian triples aged in whiskey barrels. To me, it works. It's absolutely brilliant. And I've said before, I am a fan of Four Hands. There's some great breweries out in St. Louis. Four Hands, Urban Chestnut, of course, there's Perennial. What else is out there? Oh gosh, I know there's a whole lot more that I'm just going brain dead at the moment. Alpha, of course, there's Schlafly. It's been there forever. O'Fallon tends to get overlooked because they don't necessarily do big over the top stuff, but they're pretty solid. Um, there's some great breweries out there. To me, I think St. Louis is one of the best whiskey towns in the country. It's certainly for pound, I think it is the best craft beer. I think it's a whiskey town. I meant to say craft beer towns in the country. I think pound for pound, St. Louis is just amazing. I got to say, without a doubt, if I had to pick one city in Missouri that really has embodied the spirit of craft beer, it really has to be St. Louis. Uh, in Springfield. We're a little bit of a smaller city, but I'd like to see us. And we've got 3 great breweries. I'd like to see us get a lot more because I've seen smaller cities house more craft breweries than what we have. So, anyways, hey, I'm Ton of Beer Whisperer, and I'm Ton of Beer. Who the heck are you? I'm Ton of Beer Whisperer, and I approve this message.